So hi everyone. Today we're gonna continue on the shelltemp implementation fix, however you wanna call that, that I prepare on neovim, and we will fixing tests again because I have some still left, and yeah, that's what we will gonna do today. Let's play some music. That's also an interesting thing, maybe. If you are drinking espresso and you have a portafilter machine and you have a step down basket and you need a funnel for that, they cost a lot of money on Amazon. Like this funnel costs like 34 euro or something like that. So if you have someone who has a 3D printer, you can just print it and it works perfectly fine. And also you can print the temper as well. So this guy, thank you by Leaf for this one. Really appreciate that you created that. And shared with all of us. Yeah, right. Thanks. So this is the pull request, and I spent some time with it. And the last remaining tests that I have to fix are also interesting one. Maybe I just show you what we have here. This is the test that is failing currently. All right, then we just search for this one. No, that was the wrong project. Let's pull the latest changes. And yeah, let's find actually the test. This is the one. And the thing is, what we do here, we set up the shell, like the PowerShell here in that case. And how we do this is we are adding a bunch of stuff here, like removing the aliases. There were somewhere. I thought they were removing some aliases. Yep. Remove item force and then aliases, right? So if we run this on Windows, then we when we do this command, like this sort command, then what really is executed is sort exe. And this has some side effects, which I just found over Stack Overflow, that it's translating the encodings to the current defaults of the system, which is on Windows, it's Windows own encoding. It's a little bit different than this latent one. Windows default encoding. It's something with 1000 something something. Yeah, this one. 1252 whatever. Yeah. The problem with that is that neovim natively has UTF-8, and also PowerShell has natively UTF-8. But when we parse it to the or pipe it to the sort exe, then it will get it will change the encoding for the output to this. And yeah, there is actually a bug which is not solved currently, is if you're executing some command via shell, like if you're executing here something, right? And you get something other back than UTF-8 encoded strings, then we are not able to detect that currently. This is something that we have to solve in future, but currently we are not able to do that with shell temp disabled. Before it was done, it was redirected into a file, and this was kind of a workaround. It was redirected into a file, and we then read the output from the file, and so we could detect the encoding because we could detect the encoding in the file itself. We cannot detect the encoding in a stream. But yeah, it should be possible to do, and therefore we have to fix this. But I'm not sure if we want to fix this here in the test. Let's say if we just rewrite this one to object. I think this was recursive or something. Our shell dot object reverse descending. And then we should remove this. We could try this. Use PowerShell native sort function. We will see if this will fix that. But it should be it. And maybe this function has some other limitations, and I have to kind of format the output in some way. Not sure. You will see now. And we have a second test which is failing, but I currently didn't investigate it on this one. Only 2 are remaining, when I saw that correctly. And yeah. Yeah, I'm currently thinking that it may be better that we create separate test cases for this, because this is more related to some side effects of these tests, like this encoding issue, which maybe is better if it fails on a specific test for this and not in these tests. In future it will be easier to debug the tests, I guess. Let's wait till the tests are through. In the meantime, I could search for this ex commands, and for the place we maybe can copy some code for the encoding detection. I never wrote it myself, so I'm not quite familiar how this should work. I just know from reading in the internet that some programs write a bomb at the beginning of the file, which helps you with the detection of the encoding. And this should be also available in the stream then, I think. In the file stream. Oh, yeah. And I saw that we check this when we're opening files, a read from file. So the parts should be in the code somewhere. And I'm not sure just how much I have to adapt and if my C knowledge currently allows me to do that, but we will try and see. I think it was in the do filter. You have the read file. So read file. There we have this bomb detection stuff. Coding conversion failed. Try another one from next. Variable set for special retry actions. Rewind the file to start reading it again. Advanced think. Fang stands for file encoding, I guess. Skip read, reuse already read bytes, bomb detected. Reuse already read bytes. Don't skip read. Did iconf conversion fail? Try char convert. Go back to the tests, they are still running. Okay. Other status indicators, temp name. When not null, did conversion with char convert. Output file has to be deleted afterwards. Iconf, I looked it up before. It's some library to convert strings. Fast encoding conversion library. Text is mostly encoded in Unicode. For historical reason, however, it is sometimes still encoded using a language or country-dependent character encoding. With the advent of the internet and okay, yeah, this between these encodings have become necessity. In particular, computers with the Windows operating system still operate in the local with traditional limited character encoding. That's the issue that we have with the sort exe. Some programs like mailers and web browsers must be able to convert between given text encoding and the user's encoding. Other programs internally store strings in Unicode to facilitate internal processing and need to convert between internal string representation, Unicode, and external string representation, traditional encoding when they are doing input-output. So GNU libconf is a conversion library for both kinds of applications. The thing is, can this also recognize bombs in a stream? libchar set libconf libiconf and libchar set. Is this something we have also in neovim already included? Yeah, seems like it. Libiconf detect bomb. How to detect decoder stream. If you don't specify a byte order, the default is always big Endian. To use the byte order of the current platform, use special no internal encoding. Both the glibc implementation and the GNU libconf implementation support encoding names that specify a fixed Indianness. Okay. Oh, okay. That's something that I saw before somewhere in code with the LE and BE. Little Indian and Big Indian, right? without bomb. Bomb. VChar T and alias for UCS4 internal. Is 4 with the platform's Indianness and alignment restrictions. Note that the string in these encodings should better not be transported to other machines. Otherwise, the lack of BOM would cause problems. So let's see what the result of our tests is. What? Okay, yeah, this is this is my fault, but yeah, it seems to work. So the issue is that I forgot to replace the expected text here. So this is what we expect now, right? Actually, we don't know if this worked or not, because this check is done first, which failed because I forgot that. So the whole waiting was for nothing. We just test. The screen. So this can take a while. What's this char convert? This char convert expression when conversion is required, and we can't do it internally or with iconf. What is the? What does that mean? I mean, why can iconf not do this? Convert the file with the char convert expression. This close the file which is to be read, converts it, and opens the resulting file for reading. So I don't think we need this one. Rewind, retry. So I think it's a bigger block here. Implementation is quite big. Search for bomb. This is check for bomb. Okay, check for Unicode bomb byte order mark at the start of E size. Size must be at least 2. So where is this used? Here, here. Only in these 2 places. No bomb detection in short file or in binary mode. Start the file, check for bomb. Pin, what's pin? Char. Check for Unicode bomb byte order mark at the start of piece. Size must be at least 2. Okay, the name of the encoding and set temp to the length or null when no bomb found. What's this? Flags. All flags file input output UTF-8. Is the set? Get file flag F encoding. Replace the trailing bytes with the replacement characters if we were converting. If we weren't, leave the UTF-8 checking code to do it as it works slightly differently. When we did the conversion, reporter may need room to translate into. For iconf, we don't really know the required space. User factor iconf mult. Real size. File encoding. So this we would need, I think, from the logic here, we have to check first which file encoding the current buffer has, right? So when we do something like this, and we say echo something, right? And this output would be in different encoding than the current buffer, we have to translate, I guess. So f encoding decide which encoding to use or use first. Yeah, I'm not sure how to do that. I'm thinking if we have to decide that when we read, or do we read it first in, I don't know, in memory, and in this in one encoding and then translate it afterwards? Or do we translate on the fly? Like when we're reading directly, so that we keep only the translated stuff in memory. Output from the auto command should not overwrite anything and should not be overwritten. 1 encoding. Quite some tests here for encoding. Are there more? Test for character search failure. Test character search. Old tests. Sanity test default encoding. This test use Latin 1 encoding. Test alert Latin 1. Script encoding UTF-8. This is also old. Make encoding, test encoding pi. Quite some things. Search for encoding. That's everything in old test. X command. So this would be appropriate here. Encoding spec. Question would be if it is better suited here in the X command spec or encoding spec. Okay, this is only for the coding command or something. Sanity check test should run with encoding UTF-8. What do we have here else? This could be done, right? So we could just copy, don't know, this one in here. Okay. Something like this, maybe. Handle integer overflow, no, check. Next command. Error equal, so no. We could copy from here, shell, or where was that? System spec. Vim script. Or I could just add it also here. Or shall we UTF-8 text? Filter redirect. Copy this and call this if PowerShell actually does not have to do anything with PowerShell, right? It could also be just any other command that gives different encoding outputs. Not quite get this one. Default encoding. Docs for PowerShell suggest setting shell pipe, but shell pipe is actually used to redirect to a file. But this setting for shell pipe is inconsistent with how make uses it. It wants to use shell pipe followed by a file name to redirect the output to that file. So yeah, the setting is definitely a misnomer. It would probably be more appropriate to use shell pipe output file encoding UTF-8. But when I'm not a Windows or PowerShell guy, so I wouldn't know for sure. Using a simple, what does this one called? For this redirect doesn't seem to work either. It seems to produce a UTF-16 file, and neovim then has trouble with the Unicode bomb at the start of it. This issue was uncovered in the investigation of this VI Vim stack exchange question. Issue with shell pipe, which is its default value on Windows, was then uncovered in the follow-up question. Make not echoing output to the command line. Sanity test with default encoding. Should work with recommended config used in helper. Oh wait, I think here the shell command flag is set differently. Output file encoding UTF-8. Oh, so when we write output, so is this like if we doing stuff with PowerShell and we pipe it for different functions, it uses UTF-8. But when we write to the output, it's then translated on Windows to Western European. And on Linux to UTF-8. This is weird, right? So, and I guess we also write to file. Could be also that it encodes differently on Windows. Actual 3142 expected. Wait, what? Failed to match any screen lines. So actually I was wrong. It does not work, right? If you use sort object. But I don't understand why. Sort object. Also, I would not need actually to use this thing here. Do I? I think I don't, so. Let's try this. And I'm curious if this will work. Oh, I have also to remove this part. We have different other changes. So this one is okay. I have to remove this. No. No, okay, no. Add it back, and here I wanted to check this encoding stuff. Check if, and shell. So what we would need here, we have a screen. Set PowerShell. We insert stuff in there. Just wondering if they have somewhere like files for the tests, or is it everything in the test itself? What I have in mind currently is having different files with different encoding, right? And you would just read them. Which means also we don't need PowerShell here, right? Just having read different encoding. How we could test this. I think on that issue there were some suggestions. Okay, this looks also nice. If we could do this. Icon. So iconf could be used, but not on Windows, I guess. But we could for Windows use something else. Maybe echo or something. This. And X. Echo. Expected when put in registry command key. Hmm. I mean, we could use this sort. It was, I think. What is the default if we remove this for Windows? Would it use PowerShell for Windows and Bash for Unix? Never used iconf. Let's just maybe try it out first here in the console. From code to code. Let's see if Windows has something similar. DAOs iconf. Come on, don't want to do this again here. libconf for Windows. You can just use icons. You can, for example, download the setup. Again, neovim 32, that just works. Yeah. Come on. This would be maybe also okay if we just don't run it on Windows, right? And we just remove this. And we use this icon. This should work. Convert encoding of a given file from one encoding to another. Let's list. How was this Windows thing called? 1200 something. So let's do it again and grab for it. Okay. This would be okay. Let's just take this one. And then do code, right? Then not sure if I need this. Just remove this here. And we would expect to echo something in here. Should be like this, I guess, right? So if we try, let's say this. Here. Syntax error. Let's wait, I think. I have to escape this somehow? No. Okay, what happens if I do this here? Nothing. Does it have some maybe should be something else. Can I write some byte? Like byte declaration into echo. Right. How to call this? Yeah, byte. Something like this. Cool specific. Okay. Can echo do that too? Minus E minus N. Okay, so minus E minus N. New line, okay. An escape character. Eight-bit character whose value is the hexadecimal value of H1 or 2 hex digits. So okay, then we could do stuff like this, right? And then see Windows 5.2. Difference to ISO. And UTF-8. So 80, just maybe. Illegal. A4. The difference between Windows 1252 and, for example, Windows 1251 is that Windows, the later one, has characters in the Cyrillic alphabet that are completely missing in Windows 1252. Similarly, Windows 1253 includes Greek alphabet and so on for other languages. All 10 Windows core pages see the table I've included at the end of the sound. So Microsoft uses ANSI as an umbrella term for its 10 Windows code pages. Microsoft uses this convention in its text editor notepad in all versions of Windows, typically located System 32, so on. When encoding should we use on our Debian servers, you should definitely use. Okay, yeah, that's clear. And 32 characters. Omit invalid characters from output. Yeah, one of the few users I see still using Stack Overflow. What are the others using? And yeah, welcome to the stream. I think many people just copy paste from Stack Overflow. I mean, I copy paste too, but I try to understand first. ChatGPT. Okay, yeah. To be honest, I didn't really tried any AI stuff seriously, so I think I'm old-fashioned or something. Okay, then I'm glad I'm not the only one. How are you? What's up? Yeah, you were searching for German coders. Yeah, I'm actually from Germany. I am from Germany, but I'm trying to stream in English just to level up my English skills, because often I struggle. Oh, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Yeah, I struggle to speak in English just because I don't have to use it that much. I mean, I read a lot in English, and kind of when I read, I understand most of the parts. Right? But speaking, you have to practice that. Else, yeah, it's just when you speak, you forgot some words that you would like to say, but it's just not on your tongue at that moment. That's why I'm trying to do it in English. I streamed some streams were in German. I streamed Monster Hunter Wilds in German. Um, you're actually into encoding. Do you know something about that? What I'm trying currently to do is create some tests to proper test encoding detection in a file stream. So for neovim, I'm currently trying to solve an issue in neovim, and it needs me to actually create the tests with different encodings, like this Windows encoding, and maybe like UTF-8. This is the default, right? So UTF-16 would, and 32. And I just have to produce some output here. that I have to kind of pipe in, because this is currently broken in neovim. When you disable the shelltemp option, which I did, and because neovim want to get rid of this option, it's kind of old and not needed anymore, but without it, it has some bugs that have to be resolved first. Yeah, that's the issue if you're interested. Oh, I overseen this one. So command X can force Unicode for piped redirected output. If this could solve some of the problems, but I'm not sure if this solves this one. Read files using this, and files should be read normally into the buffer. We'll have covered warnings displayed in the command line. Could I not just do the same here without first writing it to a file? Or does this some kind of conversion? Let's copy maybe this part. Just to test if this works. F16. So this one works, right? So this could be used here. Print return feed. We have to use this, and here we have to use the single one. And this should be it for this one. So this could work also here for 8, just to be sure. And we could try this here for this window. Windows. And that one 52 it was, I guess. 52. Illegal sequence. Can we somehow force it into? Okay, just removes that. So let's run this system spec tests here. We are here in the test functional script system spec here. So we have here mesh here. Passed in expected. This. Yeah. Okay, this part here. And we need courage return here. And I think we have to specify that we want to actually replace the whole file, right? When we read into like this. So we read the whole file content and replace it with whatever we get from this command. So let's test it again. How could it even be that it works perfectly fine here? Can I say something like from code? We pipe this and test and see. Can't test and see. I think I don't get it how this works. So let's let open the test ANSI here. Encoding, right? Why it's with F8? Go to Windows. So this is not it. Coding for output. Mandatory optional arguments. Too long options are also mandatory or optional for any corresponding short option. Not encoding of the given files from one encoding to another. Iconf code and see. That's exactly my issue. So, if you're looking, we can find the right solution in Stack Exchange or Stack Overflow without ChatGPT. New conf. So that's a character encoded in 3 bytes in native 8, which is also used as a byte order mark. In any case, that character is not found in MS-ANSI, and improper name, sometimes given to Windows, is a subset of ISO. Yeah, so cannot be converted to that. BOM are used at the beginning of some text to differentiate UTF-16 LE from UTF-16 BE, Little Indian, Big Indian, or other non-byte encoding affected by CPU Indianness. It makes no sense in UTF-8 where there is no byte order ambiguity. It would make even less sense in Windows. 1252, which is single byte character char set. Has a 0 width, no break space. It's also invisible and has no word separation property like the 0 width space character would have. So it's probably safe to remove it altogether. So with some icon implementation, you can also use translit. And then input. Translit resorts the approximations when the text cannot be faithfully translated. In that case, you just remove the character. Another option could be to use first icon converts to UTF-16 Little Indian without BOM. But that initial makes it actually UTF-16 with BOM. So the second icon strips that BOM as it's used to determine the byte order of that UTF-16 encoding. So I don't get this one. If you do not specify input encoding, VFF uses the current local as a default. Does not do any auto detection. Add support for specific fixed encoding in ANSI functions. You first have to create the conversion table that contains the from to data. As with most Unix man page, there is an explanation but not an example. You didn't specify which ANSI format. Check. Varied formats of ANSI would be available. Choose that suits your requirements. So iconf list. Oh, let's see if you can do this. -o -2 ANSI and we pipe in this test one. And now we open up this test 2 and see what's the encoding. Oh, it's actually, I think it's set file encoding. Still. File encoding. Local to buffer. File content encoding for the current buffer. Conversion is done with iconf or a specified with char convert. An expression that is used for character encoding conversion. It is evaluated when a file that is to be read or has been written has a different encoding from what is desired. Char convert is not used when the internal icon function is supported and is able to do the conversion. using icon version is preferred because it's much faster. Okay. When file encoding is not UTF-8, conversion will be done when writing the file. For reading, see below. When file encoding is empty, the file will be saved with UTF-8 encoding, no conversion when reading or writing file. Conversion to non-Unicode encoding can cause loss of information. See encoding names for the possible values. Additionally, values may be specified that can be handled by the converter. See byte conversion. So when we say set file encoding, '52. Converted. Linux. Check file encoding. -E. Okay, so when I say I read cut test, this works. I read again test. How does this work? And we have here set shelltemp disabled. Then expected Stefan, hi. So yeah, it's going fine. I'm finalizing my pull request and yeah, trying to fix now um, a test. Yeah, I remember that I recommended Fedora to you the other day. I ended up switching to it on my main PC as well. So how it comes, tell me. I'm on Fedora with E3. Yeah, E3. Why E3, not Sway? But other than that, everything is cool. Yeah, I also was thinking first when I wanted to try a tiling window manager to E3, but E3 is still on X11, right? And this is slowly dying. That's why I used Sway. Yeah, Sway is kind of a drop-in replacement for E3. Sway VM. It should be mostly compatible. This is at least what they state here. But I never used E3. I just heard much about that. But when I read that it is running on X11, I don't want to like try it out and then remember all the stuff and then afterwards search for a new window manager. So I searched for an alternative and Sway is the first one that came and I just used that till still, yeah, like till today. Yeah, for sure. Just wanted to know why you used E3. Yeah, nice. I'm glad that you like that. What do you like most about Fedora? I mean, you tried different other distributions already, so you kind of can compare between them. Well, first of all, I was kind of tired of apt, and as you know, I installed it on my laptop. I also added Fedora support to my .files then, and I was using Windows 11 with VSL on my main PC. So I was like, well, I guess Fedora is fine. It was super easy to set up on laptop. So yeah, kind of felt like it. Yeah. Yeah, it's just feels on Fedora that it just works. This is what I also like about it. Yeah, initially this Cosmic DE was just to try it out because I think it's still in alpha, right? And yeah, I was just too lazy to switch to Sway. And I'm actually not sure if Sway works good with streaming stuff, like with OBS and sharing of different displays and stuff. But I also didn't try it, so that's where the laziness comes in. And on my main PC, I got Fedora 41 with E3. Also on laptop, I got Fedora 42 beta. Yeah, beta is out. I think this currently is also Fedora 42. I think. No, it's 41. So I should also install beta. Next time, maybe. With Cosmic D, okay. You have it on laptop now. And on PC, you got 41 with E3. Yeah, I couldn't even use Fedora 42 with any Wayland compositor because I got an NVIDIA card. Oh yes, yeah, this NVIDIA stuff just sucks. I think on the Fedora workstation, it's easy to set up NVIDIA. But with the atomic variants, it's not that easy. Also possible. I did it also on my PC before. It's possible, but it kind of still sucks to do that. I hope that they come along with the open source driver, and it's similar like for AMD, because this is really nice. If you have an AMD card, just install Linux and it works, and you don't have to tweak anything. No. It's not what I wanted to do. Stefan, do you know anything about encoding? Because I have this issue here. I tried to write these tests and I do this part where this should be UTF-8, right? And then I pass it into iconf and want to translate this to this Windows encoding. And this should, in my understanding, fail, but it does not. Because this one should be UTF-8, right? And we convert it to Windows encoding. Let's insert maybe this here. Yeah, I thought also I know the basics, but now I'm not so sure about this. Read echo. Let's say test. Okay. You don't know Lua. Yeah, that's not a issue because Lua is pretty simple. Most of the things here is are you using neovim? I don't remember. Yeah, okay. So basically, I think this issue has Vim and neovim has it too, but the Vim kind of workarounds it. And neovim has the same implementation, but they want to get rid of this. This is kind of a hacky solution. It's called shelltemp. And the thing here is when you do this bang command and then you execute something in the shell, right? It can happen that you get the output in a different encoding. So the output of this command could be in a different encoding. And to detect which encoding we should use, Vim has this hacky thing in there that they write the output to a file, and then they detect which encoding the file has, and then they read from this file and then convert it, like depending on the encoding of the file. But if you disable shelltemp, it will not write to a file, but will instead directly read the output. And if it's different than UTF-8, which is the default for neovim, then you get some strange characters, right? And they want to remove this shelltemp option completely, because this is a workaround. And actually you should be able to detect the encoding also directly in the output. So if you have this output stream and you look into it, you should be also able to detect the encoding. That's what the other guys here are saying, that it's possible and you don't need to write it into a file before. Yeah, before that. It's just a workaround. And this is what I'm currently trying to solve, is first to disable the shelltemp per default. This is my pull request currently. And after you disable this, you don't have like this encoding handling via file output. And yeah, that breaks some stuff. And what I'm trying to do now is actually to here to write some tests. And this should fail actually, because it cannot detect if this is Windows encoded, and that it should translate that to UTF-8. But it does not, so I'm really confused. And I think I misunderstand something, but I'm not sure what. That's fine. If you don't know, it's fine. I don't know either, so. Maybe for now. But maybe the other thing is, when we read this stuff from echo, I want to replace the whole file, and I thought this is like replace, like this is whole file, right? But not when you read. It seems different if you use the read command, then this sign is not the whole file. If you do read echo test, just adds it, or it cannot understand this. This could be also true. So if you just read, oh, okay. Now I see. So it does not understand this part here. at all. How can I do this in one command? Select everything in the current buffer. So actually I could just feed, right? So I could feed the whole. Does this work like this? Yeah, that's fine. Nope. What? Just deleted the whole file, but I could not redo that. That's strange. Well, let's try this. So if I delete the whole file, like let's say first. Let's save first. Now delete the whole file. Oh, okay. Now I get it. I wanted to jump to a previous position, but when I deleted everything in the file, it deletes also the last jump position. Didn't knew that. Okay, then I think I have to do it on the next day. I have to go. Stefan, see you in the next stream. Bye. Sorry that I have to leave. Yeah, you too. See you, and thanks for joining.